Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel. Thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the IWC Aquatimer Chronograph Cousteau Tribute to Calypso. This is the reference 3782-03, one of 2,500 made in 2008. You can see and you can purchase this limited edition Aquatimer Chronograph on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this limited edition automatic diving chronograph with accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this tribute to Calypso. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see that this 44mm round watch is a handsome combination of lively, one might even say tropical colors, aquatically inspired and dedicated to the preservation of Jacques Cousteau's longtime personal roving base, the RV Calypso. More on that in a moment. It actually tends to a cause that is near and dear to my heart, which is historic ship preservation. But let's talk about the bare dimensions. Aside from the 44mm span of the round case, not inclusive of crown, the chronograph pusher, or the internal rotating bezel control at 4 o'clock, the watch is also approximately 16mm thick. It's a little over 15, just shy of 16, but with the cantilever of the bezel outboard of the case flank, it wears as a 16. Now, the watch is actually reasonable at 51mm from lug to lug. The lug dimensions are quite compact, so this watch will wear well on a smaller wrist. Now, the only mitigating factor might be that the strap has some rigidity to it, although it's not as bad as some that flare outboard after conforming to the flanks of a case. There are some straps that want to just fight your wrist when they're pinned against a case flank. That's not the case here. Let's say this one wears effectively like 53mm lug to lug. Now, I do want to make sure that you see all. This is a pre-owned watch, so some degree of non-standard condition is involved. Full disclosure, it's got a little bite taken out of the strap. Otherwise, the watch is in excellent condition, and as you can see, the vertical satin finish of the case flank, as well as the polish under the lip of the bezel, as well as atop the flange of the bezel, is beautifully intact. The strap is substantial and natural vulcanized rubber, and you can see that there are plots underneath that lift the strap off the wrist, allowing moisture and sweat to escape, allowing for some aeration, and a simple, traditional stainless steel satin finished and polished bevel pin buckle for easy adjustability on the fly. Now the strap has beautiful character lines molded in. Again, you can see it has a little bit of wear on it from previous loving, but it is wonderfully intact and still quite fresh. In terms of structural integrity, it is all there. Now, the watch is very chunky, heavy, and makes quite a bold statement with its combination of silvers, whites, yellows, and almost a signal blue. But perhaps the most remarkable graphics on the watch can be found on the case back. The white of the roughly 140-foot wooden motor vessel that for an extraordinary period, 1950 to 1997, acted as a mobile laboratory, roving base, and even production studio for Jacques Cousteau and his seafaring family. Movies were shot aboard, VIPs were entertained, environmental causes, most notably oceanographic, were advanced. Now, in 1996, the vessel actually sank, which began something of a downward spiral in its fortunes. To this date, efforts are underway and ongoing to try to preserve and restore it, with the hope being to make it seaworthy again. And in the interim, IWC, through its relationship with the Cousteau Family Foundation, has released a number of watches that pay tribute to the vessel. Now, this should not be confused with the reference 3782-01 that has a physical piece of wood from the Calypso in the caseback. This one features the image of the Calypso. Do not confuse the two, because they are similar in many outward respects. The watch has 120-meter water resistance, and one of my favorite features is that it features a internal rotating bezel that is fully luminescent and allows you to align with the minutes hand, so you can time two events concurrently. One with the chronograph, and the other with the bezel. Now, of course, the bezel being internal, it can be fully loomed. There's no danger of knocking lume off of it, as it is protected by the sapphire. It's a handsome high contrast dial with applied indices, a tremendous amount of superluminova. It's easy to read at a glance, and it conveys a lot of information when diving the bezel. When on the surface, and that's generally where you'll use the chronograph. You can read all three of its registers, seconds, minutes, and hours, and then there's the day date, my favorite complication perhaps of all, because it's the one I reference most frequently when actually using a watch to date emails and written correspondence. Now inside, beneath the image of the Calypso, there is an IWC caliber 79320, 31 joules. It's a very heavily modified and upgraded Valjoux 7750. 44-hour power reserve, quick set for the day date. It does feature hacking seconds, so when you pull the crown, you do stop the balance, allowing for the synchronization of the watch to a reference time. Now, once you have finished timing your interval with the chronograph, the ratcheting crown for the internal bezel doubles as a reset for the chronograph registers. This is a handsome, versatile, and, thanks to an interesting backstory, a wonderful conversation piece watch. A watch that really has it all going on. It wears a compact 44, I have no trouble on my 16-centimeter wrist, with a upbeat, one might even say, jovial combination of colors. This is luxury watches the way they're supposed to be. Just unrepentant, unapologetic fun. With a great backstory in the Cousteau connection, you've got a fantastic watch from a great brand in IWC, and in the Aquatimer, a significant line from a well-known manufacturer. You can see and you can purchase this remarkably versatile timepiece on our website.